Hi there, it's Ebird Online, back with another review from 90 Day Fiance, and this is Season 7, Episode 5, We Need to Talk. And for this part of my review, I'm going to be talking about Micheal and Juliana, and Emily and Sasha. It would seem that Sasha has reverted to type, and Emily's having a few problems with him. So we're going to get a little bit more into that later, and I'm going to analyse what I think is going to happen from here on in. But first I want to talk to you about Micheal and Juliana. Guys, it's about that time. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and please click that red button for regular content and regular reviews. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Ebird99. And thank you to all those who have subscribed thus far. I'm teetering on 15,000, so I have my fingers crossed. So when we first catch up with Micheal and Juliana and Micheal go for a spin in one of his lovely sports cars to do a spot of furniture shopping. Juliana says she's eager to get her licence, but she doesn't want to drive Michael's car because she's afraid she might crash it. I know, Juliana, why don't we just ship the car over that you bought on Michael's credit card? I think that's a good plan. And then Micheal lets us in on a secret. Micheal tells us that one of the main reasons that he finds Juliana sexy is, guess what? Because she can drive stick shift, or shift stick, whatever you guys call it. We just call it manual, but anyway. Micheal, is that all it takes to get you? You really ought to raise your standards a little. So Micheal and Juliana arrive at the furniture store, and you can tell straight away it's a very upscale store, and every piece in it does look beautiful. And it's a little odd to me that Juliana has yet to see the house, but she's already going furniture shopping. Just strange. How could you possibly put anything in it before you've got a feel for it? So the shop assistant comes over, and they tell her they're looking for furniture. She says, I'll bring you over to this area of the store. This is the area where we skin and disembowel the rich. On the way over to the disemboweling area, they pass an ornament, which is basically a glass dome with a sponge in. Juliana was transfixed. She said, what's in that bowl? And Micheal said it's a sea sponge. And she said, oh, I love sponges. I love SpongeBob SquarePants. And she knelt down next to the sea sponge and gazed at it. Micheal stood awkwardly over her, like a father wishing his kid would get off the floor. And this encapsulates their relationship. She relates an ornament, no doubt worth thousands of dollars, to SpongeBob SquarePants. So then we have a moment with the producers, and they ask, do you have expensive tastes? And Juliana said, me or him? And they said, either of you. And she said, I don't, but he does. Producers, you know very well that Juliana is the expensive goods. And Micheal said, of course she does. She has very expensive tastes. And as quick as a flash, Juliana said, so why you give me a credit card then? And he said, I thought I could trust you. I learned. And as they walk through the store, they stop at a corner sofa. It's blue and white. And the shop assistant says this comes in at around 14,000. No, shop assistant, it doesn't. It's $14,450. I've only seen it once and I remember how much it was. You work there every day. You know very well how much that sofa is. And she asked Juliana, do you like this sofa? And Juliana said, I love it. And she sat on it and she was gazing at it and stroking it. And I could see that Micheal didn't care for it. And Micheal said, what do you like about it, Juliana? And it's these little things that make me think, Micheal, stop being a prick. You've taken her to a very expensive store. When she chooses something which is undoubtedly going to be expensive, don't try and pull her up like a bloody schoolmaster. What do you like about it, Juliana? But she knew what she liked about it. And she told him, I love the Chinese print. And Micheal said, well, £14,000 is a lot to spend on a sofa. And the shop assistant then chimed in and said, will you still love it in 5 years? Shop assistant, you're supposed to be selling stuff. I'm going to contact your boss and I'm going to recommend that he fires you forthwith. If you worked for me, that's exactly what I'd do. And then Micheal tried to backpedal a little bit and said, well, it's not the best use of $14,000. And Micheal said, I'm not flippant about my money or what I spend my money on. And I need to decide if it's really the right use of our money. Micheal and Juliana then went for a coffee and Juliana was sulking like a young child. And Juliana looked at him and said, Micheal, you can be mean sometimes. And he said, what do you mean? And she said, well, credit cards and shit. And he said, what do you mean? And she said, well, you took my credit card. And he said, that's because I thought I could trust you with it. And I worked out I couldn't. And then he asked her why she put a car on his credit card. Micheal, because she could. You gave her your credit card. She had full access. She obviously had a very high limit and she decided to use that limit to the full extent. But anyway, let's get back to what Juliana said. She said that she was really stressed and she thought the visa wasn't going to work out and she was making her own life in Brazil. And she tells us it wasn't a lot of money for Micheal, but for me it was. Any money can help me. And Micheal said, where's the car now? Is it just sitting outside your house? Yeah, Micheal, because really poor people in Brazil buy brand new cars and just sit them about places. Sometimes I want to take my gloves out of my purse and slap them on both sides of Michael's face taxis. So foolish are his words. And then Juliana said, no, my sister's using it as a taxi. And he said, what? As a taxi? Your sister's driving people around in the car? Yes, Micheal, taxi. It's when you can't be bothered to drive yourself and you realise public transport's not for you. The only other method of transport is taxi. That's what she said, a taxi. And Micheal said, well, it was still very hurtful. And the main thing was, she didn't have confidence or faith in our relationship. Not really, Micheal. She had no reason to believe that she was suddenly going to get her visa now after all these times of trying. So although you said you'd help her and you'd support her, all of us girls have heard it all before. When you're dating someone or you're married to someone, it's absolutely fine. I'll always help you. I'll always do what I can for you. Things can go south real quick in this world. And you could have flown out to Croatia, got yourself on another cruise and found another supermodel. And before you know it, you're not really that inclined to help her quite as much as you insinuated. So during this period, Juliana's looking like a naughty child still, but I think it's because she tacitly knows she has done something a little bit wrong. But my take on it is, even though it is kind of wrong, Micheal, you said you don't use your money flippantly. You really do. I can see that you waste money. You have guitars, loads of trainers, loads of high performance cars, an awful taste in jewellery. So I can tell you spent £4,000 on a necklace which defines what evil looks like. £4,000. That £4,000 could have bought a second-hand car in Brazil. I can understand that if she's going to the land of milk and honey, she wants to leave something behind for her family so they're not quite as abjectly poor. I believe Juliana when she said she had to move loads of times. I believe Juliana when she said she had to work as a seamstress and she had to work collecting bottles and taking them back for money. She's had a rough life, and so has her sister, and she wanted to do something for her sister. Don't get me wrong, I kind of know it's out of order, but honestly, I would have let that one slide. And I think it's also fair to say that there's not another person on the whole of this franchise that could tell me that they bought a car for their sister to use as a taxi and have me just believe it out of hand. There's no proof. I completely believe Juliana. So let me know what you think. Do you think Juliana's telling the truth? I think she is. But I know that this relationship with Micheal is always going to too closely resemble a father-daughter relationship. And we see them a little bit later getting excited because today they're moving to the new house. So we see them at the old house and they're all packing. Max, Cece, Juliana and Micheal, and everything is absolutely everywhere. Oh yeah, I forgot, that's how it always looks. And Juliana said, usually moving's stressful, but not for her, as in Brazil she moved all the time, and when they didn't have any money for their rent, they just moved. But it was little Cece I felt sorry for, and I think they need to keep a really close eye on her, Sarah and Micheal, because she said, it just happened all in 1 week. You know, Juliana came to America, and then we just moved. And I just detected something in her face, which told me that she was slightly perturbed at all the changes. She was slightly upset and put off by the speed of the changes. And I sat back and thought about it for a minute, and I thought, that's actually her home. Maybe if she's 8, it's been her home pretty much as long as she can remember. Obviously along with the home that she has with her mum, but she may well have been attached to her room or her garden or a tree in the garden, or you know, whatever kids get attached to. So it was a big deal for her moving, and although Michael's thinking, this is all excitement, and Juliana's excited, we're moving, don't forget those kids are actually leaving something behind as well. And even Max said, it's slightly stressful. He said a new person's with our dad, and obviously he now has to split his time between 3. And he also said, I have to sit in the back seat of the car because someone else is taking up the front seat. And I remember having back seat, front seat punching arguments with my little brother. It's a massive deal for kids to sit in the front seat. I think it makes them feel like an adult. But I think they should address all these issues. And when they walk into the house, I gotta tell you guys, it's palatial. Every room is massive. Yes, the house is made out of wood. Lots of my subscribers got me together a couple of weeks ago when I was wondering who Mike sells the wood to from his tree farm, and somebody said, yeah, of course, houses. So it's a lovely dark wood house, and it's kind of on stilts. It's just really beautiful. And as they're all walking round saying, wow, there's a sunken marble bar and a walk-in wardrobe, Juliana reminds us she's only got 5 pairs of shoes. That'll change, Juliana. That will change. Juliana tells us she's going to take a good week out of her busy schedule and clean that house. And guys, that's what I kind of like about Juliana as well. She's not walking around saying, Micheal, let's get cleaners in, let's get somebody to sort this out and sort that out. Because she's been brought up in a certain way, she completely accepts that I do things for myself, I can clean and cook. So she's not going to America to live a gilded life, but she did tell us she feels like a princess. And she said when she was a little child she dreamt of having a 2-story home, and she can't believe how lucky she is. The The producers ask her, what would your family say if they saw this house? And she said she doesn't show off too much to them because they have their own problems and she doesn't want to gloat. And she said it's really hard. I wish I could give this life to everyone. And so that's where we leave Juliana and Micheal for this week. Every week I like Juliana more and more. She seems more and more genuine. By rights, she shouldn't have done what she did with the car, but she did it for a good reason. And if we're really brutally honest, it was quite selfless. I know everyone's going to be rolling their eyeballs at this, but stick with me. She was with Micheal and she knew very well there was a chance if she put a car onto that credit card, Micheal could have finished with her. It could have been a far bigger deal than it actually was. So she jeopardised her plans for America, her palatial house, her new life for her sister to make sure her sister had a taxi and a way to make money when she'd gone to America. She didn't just say, do you know what, sis? Wait till I get to America and I'll weigh you in. She did it there and then. Also, she could have done it in such a way that Micheal would never have known. She could have continuously, over the last 2 years, just pulled money out of the wall, for instance. There were many ways she could have done it, but although she didn't tell him straight away, and although we know it was not an impulse buy, I think she did it for the right reasons. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you think she's way out of line? Or do you think, do you know what, I'd have done the same. I get the feeling they weren't just poor, sometimes they didn't have food to eat, so virtually starving. Sometimes when you're that poor, something's got to give. And today, Micheal, it's you. So that's everything for Micheal and Juliana. And next up, well, if it's not Emily, Sasha, and baby Dave. So we hear from Emily first. So finally, baby David is here. He's so beautiful. I'm so excited. Once the paperwork is through, we the family get to fly to America. Emily, I think you get to live in America. You're not just flying now, are you? You're going to live and to set up a new life. Sasha tells us the shape of his face and his eyes, they look like mine. I think he's beautiful. Sasha, more than likely, your other two kids look like you as well. But what does that mean to you? Not a lot, it would seem. But baby David is a beauty, and we see Sasha playing with baby Dave on the bed. And Sasha's wearing his grinder outfit. Baby Dave's 6 months old now. Why are they still in Russia, I hear you ask? Well, what a tale that is. Sasha's visa has come in, so there's no problem with Sasha. Emily, well, she's obviously American anyway. The problem is baby David, and basically there are problems with his Russian passport. And Emily tells us, if you ever have a child in a former Soviet Union country, please do your research. Emily, I pretty much assure you, it's only you that would not have done their research prior to having baby David. Emily is so remiss and lackadaisical, it's thoroughly unsurprising that she finds herself in the situation in which she does, trapped in Russia, looking after baby David all alone. And I have a feeling that Emily's dim-witted enough to continue this mode of behaviour when they get back to America. So let's look for a second at what Emily has failed to do thus far. She's failed to look into the man she has a child with adequately. So she's failed to find out from Sasha, what was the problem exactly with your exes? Sasha just was saying before, oh, they're mad, she's mad. My ex-wife, she's crazy. What drove her to be crazy? Was she crazy when you married her or just afterwards? Emily failed to ask these pertinent questions. Emily also failed in a natural and usual duty to check out and speak with the exes of his children. So the first time she was meeting his first ex-wife was when she was about to give birth, and that was only so they could try to get one of Sasha's kids to be able to go and visit them in America. Emily should have spoken to his ex-wife way before then to see what she could have found out about Sasha and about the situation of the first wife split. In addition to this, she's failed to ascertain the parameters of getting baby Dave back to the US, so she didn't know what she needed in terms of a passport. And although she tells us, I was really angry with Sasha for not applying for the passport as soon as possible, if she'd have known the potential problems, she may well have had the baby in America in the first instance. And then finally, she failed to find out from Sasha what, if anything, he knew about child rearing, and also what he thought her role was going to be and what he thought his role was going to be when baby David arrived. Yes, there's an awful lot that Emily didn't look into. So according to her, Sasha didn't apply for the Russian passport, and they fought about it because she wouldn't let it go. And she said, it's been really hard, me looking after the baby. It's been really isolating. Sasha works from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. daily at the gym. So Sasha works 18 hours per day, does he, Emily? 18 hours per day? I don't think so. Being a person personal trainer, I imagine, is quite an arduous job. I think Sasha has some other kind of work on the go. Sasha's most definitely on the job. And then Emily complains she had baby David in Russia so that he and Sasha could bond whilst they were waiting for Sasha's K1 visa to come in. But now he only spends 5 hours a week with baby David. Well, Emily, Grindr is quite time consuming, so I've heard, and also very Moorish. And it's -1 outside, so they swaddle baby David up and they take him for a walk. Emily decides to have a chat with Sasha, and she says when we get back to America, I will have to look for a job. So whilst I'm working, you will have to look after baby David. Are you going to look after the baby properly and feed him and change his nappy, or are you going to just stay with your iPad? He can't just sit in the chair. And Sasha confirms, yeah, okay, I'll look after him. Do I have a choice? Pardon, Sasha? To feed him, to look after him, to change his nappy? No, you bloody don't have a choice. It's your son. And Emily's very angry. He should want to do it. Then Sasha tells us he has 2 children already and has done it all before. What, ignored them and left them? Yeah, we know. Having children before Sasha means nothing. Future, the rapper and producer, has 6 children. What do we think Future knows about rearing kids? Possibly not that much. And Sasha moans, Emily's worrying about the baby far too much. This always happens to me. The first year when I go out with someone, it's absolutely fine. And then they're changing. The woman changes. They don't like something. Maybe she's mad because I don't see baby David very much. I've been through this all before. The same thing happened with both of my ex-wives. I don't think I deserve this treatment. Oh, Emily, you really are a dimwit. Had you spoken to his ex-wives, you would know what type of person he is. I can tell you now, history is repeating itself. I don't believe for 1 second that he works 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. He would be absolutely wrecked. I believe he works till 7 or 8 p.m. I believe he pops round to his bit on the side. And who knows whether his bit on the side is from Grindr or from Tinder, and who cares? All I know is a leopard does not change its spots. And do you know what's going to happen, Emily? In a couple of years' time, when he's moved on and found somebody new and impregnated her, he's going to be saying, oh, Emily was so mad. She was so crazy. I couldn't deal with it. She was normal to start off with, and then she just changed. And even Sasha doesn't find it weird that he's saying, I'm now 3 for 3. 3 wives have had a baby, and 3 of them have gone mad within year 1. Don't you think potentially, Sasha, the problem may be you? And Emily doesn't seem overprotective of baby David. Of course she wants his nappy to be changed. Of course she wants him to be fed properly. And of course she wants him to be played with rather than just ignored on a chair. Emily's just a young mum who wants the best for her son. Unfortunately, I don't think she's going to get it with Sasha around. And Sasha's already proven he thinks nothing of having a kid and jogging it on. Emily, all I can say is ye shall reap what ye sow. And that's where we leave this so-called couple today. So let me know what you guys think in comments. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you've yet to do so. And also don't forget to share on your social media. And give me a big thumbs up if you like the video. Let me know what you think. Do you think Emily had it coming? Did we think it was going to start this quickly? The discontent has set in literally from month 1. It's shockingly quick. I thought it would at least be rose petals and fun times. Until baby David was at least 1. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.